The lights of Britain's Got Talent 2025 beamed like stars over the grand stage. The audience buzzed with anticipation, waiting, whispering, judging. Then, a young man stepped out, barefoot, with a tabla under one arm and a small speaker in the other. His name was Jayden Cruz, a 23-year-old Filipino street performer from Quezon City. His clothes were simple, his smile humble, and his hands trembled as he bowed slightly to the judges. Simon Cowell leaned forward, skeptical as ever. "What are you going to do for us today?" Jayden swallowed hard. I'll rap, sing, and play tabla, at the same time," he said softly. The audience chuckled. Even Simon arched a brow. But when the music began, laughter faded into stunned silence. The beat pulsed through the speakers, and Jayden's fingers danced on the tabla with hypnotic precision. His voice rose, melodic yet raw, as he sang about growing up poor in the streets of Manila, where his mother sold rice cakes and his father worked overseas, trying to build a future that always seemed one paycheck away. Between the verses, his rap cut deep, words flowing like truth set free. "They say dreams don't live in the slums but mama prayed until the sunrise comes." The audience began to sway, drawn in by the rhythm and emotion. Even Amanda Holden wiped her eyes as Jayden switched from singing to rapping, never missing a beat on the tabla. As he performed, flashes of his life played in his mind: nights sleeping on cardboard, busking under the bridge, saving every coin for his sick mother's medicine. He'd almost given up when a little boy once handed him his only candy and said, "Kuya, you sound like the stars." That small act of kindness had kept him going. Now, on this stage, Jayden wanted to honor that moment, the belief that even those with nothing can give hope. Halfway through his act, the music suddenly cut out. A technical glitch. The crowd gasped. The sound crew panicked. But Jayden didn't stop. He looked up, smiled, and began to beatbox his own rhythm, one hand tapping the tabla, the other drumming his chest, his voice carrying the melody. The raw energy of his improvised rhythm filled the hall like fire. The audience erupted in cheers. Even Simon's stone-cold expression softened into awe. When the music returned, Jayden closed his eyes and sang the final lines softly: "If my hands can make a beat, then my heart can make a way." The auditorium fell silent when he stopped. No one dared to clap yet, afraid to break the magic. Then, a single tear rolled down Simon Cowell's cheek before he rose and pressed the golden buzzer. The hall exploded in gold confetti. Jayden stood frozen, shaking, covering his face as the crowd chanted his name. Later backstage, while holding the golden ticket, Jayden saw a janitor quietly sweeping the confetti. He noticed the man's tired eyes and worn shoes. It reminded him of his father. Without hesitation, Jayden walked over and handed him the small envelope that contained his appearance fee. "Sir," he said gently, "you deserve this more than I do." The man's lips quivered. "Why would you do that?" Jayden smiled. "Because someone once believed in me when I had nothing. I just want to pass it on." The crew nearby watched in stunned silence as the janitor hugged him, tears glistening. That moment went viral faster than his performance. Across the world, people shared the clip not just of his talent, but of his humility. Comment sections overflowed with messages like, "This is what real art looks like, heart, not fame." Donations began pouring in for Jayden's mother's treatment. Offers from music producers arrived from LA, Tokyo, and London. But when asked in interviews what his biggest dream was, Jayden always replied, "To build a school for kids who sing on the streets, like I once did." Months later, standing on that same stage for the finals, Jayden dedicated his song to every child who'd ever been told they weren't enough. The tabla's rhythm echoed like a heartbeat, his voice soared through the theater, and his rap told the story of gratitude, faith, and second chances. He didn't just perform, he healed something in everyone watching. When the results were announced, Jayden didn't win the show. But in a way, he had already won something greater, the hearts of millions. Simon Cowell walked up to him personally, shook his hand, and said, "You reminded the world what music is really about, soul. Jayden smiled through tears. "Thank you, sir," he said, "but I think the world just needed a beat of kindness." Months later, in Quezon City, children's laughter filled a small, newly opened music center with a sign that read, "The Beat Lives On," founded by Jayden Cruz. Inside, barefoot kids learned to drum, sing, and dream freely. Jayden often sat with them, teaching rhythms on old tablas. Whenever someone asked him how he managed to play, rap, and sing all at once, he'd grin and say, "When your heart's full of gratitude, every part of you becomes an instrument." And as the sun set over Manila's skyline, the echoes of tabla and children's voices mingled in the wind, a reminder that sometimes, the world doesn't need another superstar. It just needs someone brave enough to turn pain into rhythm and kindness into music.